I could have had so much life back and scaled so much quicker had I realized that my burnout and me feeling like everything had to be perfect was contributing to my inability to scale.
Char Modelle. She didn't wait for an opportunity. She built an agency. She landed Cody Sanchez. She created her own table.
I took Cody Sanchez as a client on, and that changed everything for my business.
So how do you pick people to work with?
So I don't manage personal brands anymore.
Okay.
We don't, because it's hard to replicate a system with a team when it comes to personal brands. They had $0 coming in organic when they brought me on, I think 4 years ago. They had it all coming in on the ad side. So mind you, this is already a 7-figure business on the ad side, but I helped them build 7-figure business on organic. If you decide to have a personal brand around it, that's time either to or away from something. And how are you going to handle the notoriety or the fame, so to speak, of social media fame, and your privacy is going to be at check. Most important lesson that I've also given to people that I've worked with, and there's been a few I've turned down, is it right for you? You have to devote additional time to this too, not just to a business, but if you decide to have a personal brand around it, that's time either to or away from something. I have a love-hate relationship with AI.
Okay.
I think, and I've said this before, I think it was sort of like Pandora's box that in a way we'll regret it in the next 10 years. We'll just use Cody for an example, but she's helped millions of people buy businesses. Just being a part of another personal brand and helping them grow to help others is huge.
Welcome back to Conversation with Mr. French. I'm your host, Derek French. My today guest is a social media influencer. Social media helps build social media brands and also help businesses turn their brands into online content as well. She has more than 7 years of experience, and she also is the co-host of Rich Girl Roundtable. My guest today is Char. Introduce yourself.
Hi, nice to meet everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Well, thank you for stopping by. Did I miss anything on the intro?
No, you did me justice. I appreciate that.
Are you sure?
You made me sound important.
With your status, you're very important.
I'm just kidding.
Your status, you're very important. So you grew up in Indiana and then you moved to Vegas.
I did.
What drove you to do that?
To get the heck out of Indiana.
Because the Midwest, right?
Yeah, you know what though? There's no hate on the Midwest. I grew up there my entire life. 2010. I knew when I was 11. I was telling my parents, I'm like, when I grow up, I'm gonna move to LA, and I wanted to do everything. I wanted to be an interior designer, decorator, fashion designer. I wanted to do everything creative. And I was like, I'm going to move as soon as I turn 18.
Okay.
And didn't happen. I ended up moving in 2010, but it took a long time to kind of get that gall to move out of a small town when that's all you know. But I always knew I wasn't meant to stay there. I don't know if you've ever felt this way, you always feel like the fish, like you're in the wrong pond or something. Yes. And I felt that my entire life, and I knew I didn't fit in to Indiana, even though I was born and raised there. And so I was looking for more opportunity. And initially I was offered marketing position with sports nutrition company, and they were launching an energy drink. That was the craze at the time. Everybody was trying to launch a new one.
Yeah.
And they moved me out here to Las Vegas. That company ended up, that's another story, but they didn't end up launching. They ended up in a lawsuit with the bottle company.
Oh, man.
But it brought me to Las Vegas, so.
Well, I can relate. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay, you can relate.
Yeah, the Midwest, I had to leave. The weather was a big thing. I hate the snow. I hate it.
You're in the wrong place for that then, yeah.
Yes, I remember the time growing up, we have to wear 3 pair of pants, 2 socks.
To stay warm.
Yeah, to stay warm, cold hard, a hat, and all that. Then on top of that, you're sweating. So
yeah,
now
I
you want to take it
know.
off.
As soon as you come inside,
Yes.
you're like.
And me being a young one of 4, my mom had 4. We had to always get out there and shovel snow, just to get out because she had to go to work. So I remember
out there and
that.
shovel the snow. And you're like, no, Mom, it's cold.
So looking back,
Yeah.
who had the biggest influence on you growing up and growing up and staying with you?
It's interesting because the people that had the most influence on me weren't within reach, like to touch. It was, I actually started listening to, I listened to evangelists growing up. So my background was 10, 11 years old. I was highly skeptical, but I was dragged to church.
Same here.
Yeah. And
Is it like a Midwest thing? It's
it
like
must
we're,
be a Midwest
yes,
thing.
because I had people come over here from the Midwest. They grew up in church as well. Their
It's-
parents was very heavily into church.
Yeah, me too. And one side, and my parents had split when I was 6. When I lived with my mom, it wasn't the case. She wasn't into it. With my dad, it wasn't really him either. It was my stepmom, and so we started going to church. And it took me a year before I came around because I was like skeptical of all religions. And then I came around to it, and it's what saved my life, honestly, because I had like no direction. I didn't have any good role models around me. So I would binge on cassette tapes, mind you, giving my age away.
Which one was your favorite?
We had local ones though,
Okay.
so they would come to the church, and then I'm trying to remember his name too. I came from a Pentecostal church.
Okay.
And we would like record them, and I would just listen to them all the time. And then it evolved to Tony Robbins on cassette tape.
So, not to cut you off, my grandmother, when they had service, did the same thing.
Yeah.
They were recording on cassette tapes.
That's so
They were
funny.
yep.
You just ended up with like, I would just carry cassette tapes in my little bag and like listen to them. But honestly, like, yeah, Tony Robbins had a huge impact on me, which is crazy because this is years ago and I was a teenager, but that pulled me out of that, like, this is all there is around me. It like helped me dream. Everybody around me wanted to marry an evangelist, and I wanted to be an evangelist. Like, I was like, I don't want to marry one, I want to be one. And then I was like, I want to be a missionary. I just wanted to like talk and help people. And then it evolved to like, oh, I want to be a speaker because I fell in love with Tony Robbins. And then, but that had a huge, massive impact on me growing up.
So growing up, were you into sports?
I wasn't allowed to be. Well, a couple of things. And I don't know if you're familiar with like, it's like apostolic Pentecostals, like they're not heavily involved in things at the time. I think they've evolved, but at the time it was like no makeup, no pants. We just very strict. I mean, I wasn't supposed to look at 17 magazine or all the things. I was only allowed to watch TV on Friday nights for 3 hours. Like I also had 2 jobs starting at 14. So like JCPenney at the mall, like I was working 2 mall jobs, and then I was so busy working and hustling that I wouldn't have had time for a normal life. And then I was in like a very long toxic relationship from like 17 to 22. So I was like living an older adult life at a young age. So sports wasn't even like a thing in my life. I was like, I'm just trying to make money to pay my bills young, and like handle myself at a young age. So I don't know.
So when you say Pentecostal, my grandmother and them, they were Pentecostal.
Okay.
So they didn't wear pants.
Yeah.
They didn't wear makeup. They didn't listen to worldly music.
I love worldly music.
Yeah,
If y'all know, you know.
If
what
you know,
we're
you know.
talking about.
If you know, you know exactly what I'm saying. So they didn't wear makeup.
Yeah.
So when they went out, they had to have their head covered. They wore skirts. They wore tights. They wore stockings.
Yep.
So I know that very well. So what put you on the career path that you are now?
Yeah, man. Well, it didn't exist then at the time. Like, we got to think about that. What's crazy is, that's why I tell people, I'm like, we stress so much about knowing what's next.
Yes.
And I know we did at that time, but like really internet jobs, social media didn't even exist. Just like AI's, this is a whole nother thing, but AI's coming along and everyone's afraid. And I'm like, we don't know what's going to happen yet. And then a whole new wave of opportunity will happen. That's kind of how it was. Didn't exist at the time, would have never known that I was going to do something like that. So social media came in to play later. Actually, when I moved here was around the time in 2010 that Instagram launched. I believe it's around that time that it became a platform. And I used to run with one of my clients now, actually, too. We did nightlife events and social blasts on Twitter.
You know what's
and Facebook.
I don't even. Back then, this is how old I am. I remember MySpace.
Me too. I started out with
MySpace.
MySpace. I met my first second serious boyfriend. I only had a couple on MySpace. My gosh. I did. I actually used to sit there and like get creative and play around with the background music.
Yeah.
We had to all learn coding.
And do you remember we were able to put like 3D graphics behind on our profiles where we had like the hearts and things fluing up and down when you go to one profile?
Yeah, we had to like website design.
Website design, yeah.
Dude, like you guys have it easy. We had to be full website designers to figure it out, and then something would be like wrong and it not work, and then we're like, I didn't do anything for work at that time, but it was just for fun. But anyways, to speed you forward, I did do some stuff then, and then it became more of a creative outlet, which evolved into people asking me to help them with their social media because they saw my social media. And then it evolved into managing businesses. So it was like a long journey for me over 10, because I've been here 16 years now. So I think it really took off in 2018 for me. But before that, I was just managing a few businesses over there. And then in 2018, it would have been 2021, I took Cody Sanchez as a client on, and that changed everything for my business.
So with these business partners, you build a relationship with these people?
Did I beforehand?
Yes.
I didn't know. So Lisa, who's my co-host on my podcast with me, Lisa Sutton Gunderson.
Shout out to Lisa.
Yeah, she is wonderful. I've been friends with her for 16 years since I moved here. And she was friends with Cody Sanchez. They ran together in, I believe, YPO. I might have the wrong organization. I think it was YPO. And so I was just hanging out with Lisa and met Cody because I stayed at her house. Like I went down to Texas. It was a girls' thing. They were going to speak together. Lisa brought me along. That's how I met her. And it was a really pivotal moment because we were on paddle boards. And we were way ahead of everybody else with this. Lisa was so slow. God bless you. And she was like a good 40 minutes behind us. And so we were like, maybe we should pause and let the girls catch up.
Okay.
So we were sitting there and we were just getting, riffing, just getting to know each other. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have my agency. And I was just kind of talking. But then when it was her turn to tell her story, and she's like, this is Cody Sanchez.
Okay.
She was like telling me about the 26 laundromats that she owns, how she used to be a journalist, how she was from Wall Street. And she was saying it so like laissez-faire, like, casually, like nothing behind it. And I'm like, because this isn't, keep in mind, like even back in 2021, personal brands there weren't a lot of women in that space that powerful, especially as entrepreneurs. There's not that many. Like it kind of exploded in the last decade. And I was like, girl, you're like the next Gary Vaynerchuk. You should be famous. And then, anyways, she ended up hiring me, and she did. She became very well known since then. But I launched her on Instagram. I was her first social media manager. Worked with her for 18 months. We were all psychotically grinding together in this little group. When you're trying to do something big together, and there's that flow of energy. And I don't remember anything other than working for those like 18 months with her. Like I literally just don't remember anything besides working.
So was that a more of a friendship or a work partner?
Oh, 100% work partner. I just met her a couple times, but she was looking for help. And I knew, like, you just know sometimes when you're in the presence of somebody that you know is going to be big, it doesn't happen often. And I felt that wave of energy, like I'm a part of something that's going to blow up. And I knew it. I knew it when I met her. And so I probably knew it even before she knew it in a way. And like, I think she felt that from me too when she brought me on, because I was just like so wowed by her because I had been in contact with so many people and I'd helped and worked with people, but she was a rare bird and I could see it because have had so many conversations, but I was like, oh wait, this one's different. And almost like a talent manager, like you just like notice in people, and so it was a work relationship for sure. I mean, we were a small and mighty team, and we grew her, and from there things started. People knew I worked with her and wanted to work with me, and it just kind of, grew from there.
What lessons have you learned from building a personal brand as a creator and an entrepreneur?
Yeah. You know what? More than even just like the literal building, it's kind of like getting to know what you want from it and what you want to give from it. So like, As a personal brand, like I think it's important to know to like, do you really want this? Because I don't think having a personal brand is for everybody.
Yeah.
And we're consistently getting these messages that like, if you don't have a personal brand, then you're losing in business and you're losing opportunities. While I agree, I think the most important lesson that I've also given to people that I've worked with, and there's been a few I've turned down, is it right for you? Like, do you have to devote additional time to this too, not just to a business, but if you decide to have a personal brand around it, that's time either to or away from something. So it's like, do you have kids? Are you going to be taking time away from? Is this going to be? What if you do grow big, and like, how are you going to handle like the notoriety or like the fame, so to speak, of social media fame? And your privacy is going to be at check. And so for me, the biggest lesson wasn't even about like growing and building the personal brands, which I can give a lesson there, but it was understanding the bigger picture and how people fit into it and knowing what they wanted to share versus telling them to share everything, you know?
So with you having so much, how do you balance personal life? Because like you said, it's a brand and you have a brand yourself. So how do you balance that?
If you are on my socials, you'll know that you'll see very little of my relationship. I had made the mistake before, and it wasn't even that I was building a personal brand. I was just oversharing. I had made the mistake with a previous relationship, and we overshared. Like we share, and it was fun because you get the attention and then online or whatever. And people loved his persona, so they loved seeing him because he was charismatic. And when that relationship ended, I said, I'll never do that again. Because if I'm having dinner with my partner, boyfriend, and so I don't want him to feel like I have to document our moments together. And so when I choose to share parts of that, and he's with me all the time, we work together, we do a lot of things together, I knew I was curating a brand that didn't involve me having to overshare my personal life.
So quick story, I was on a date here in Vegas. And met her for the first time. Yeah. So this is where we're about to get this to the social media part. We was on a date. I went to one of my favorite places down in downtown Sumner, Jing, I think it was.
Yeah, I love Jing.
I love Jing. So we on a date, and we're trying to get to know each other. You know what she's doing across from me?
Is she on her phone?
She's on her phone the whole time.
It's the
She's
worst.
She's on her phone. She's on her phone the whole time. And I'm like, hey, are you gonna be on social media the whole time? So she ignored me. Guess what? She paid for half her day. I paid for mine because
it wasn't a date with you.
It wasn't a date because social media, people are not their life consumed around social media.
Yeah.
And so this is like if I'm dating someone or trying to get to one and you're on your phone while you're on social media while we're on a date, that's a turn off for me. So.
You gotta create boundaries. We put our phones face down unless it's something urgent. And we actually have Jeremy and I have a Vegas dining together, so there are deliberate ones where we get some content. We're so quick about getting the content and putting our phones away.
Yes.
One is being mindful of the people around you, because we always ask the restaurant, because they're inviting us to come in, put us in a corner so we're not interrupting somebody else's dinner. We're not shining a light in their face. We don't have our phone out filming the whole time. And that's the same thing too. It's just like, if you are spending time with somebody, be mindful of their time and the people around you if you're being disruptive and you're getting content, and put the phone down.
Yes.
Because you got to respect people's time, and that matters whether it's with friends. Like, I apologize if I'm with a friend and I have to check my phone. I'm like, I'm sorry. And they know that I have to check it. It's not going to be the whole duration of our time together.
Because you're an entrepreneur. You're running, I don't know how many, if you have secretaries working for you or not, but you're an entrepreneur, but you also are mindful, hey, this is going to be a quick.
Oh, yeah. And then check. I put my phone face down. It's actually better. They say that there's a statistic, and I don't want to give it incorrectly, but they were talking about how people will feel like you're not present at all, even if you have your phone face down in view. So I actually put my phone face down next to me. So then if it vibrates and I know it's something important, I mute everything. I have my phone on mute all day, actually. It's on mute all day. I just check it as I'm getting through some of the tasks, and I do have a team. But I think it's so important to be respectful of people's time and present, because time is currency, Yes. You can't really get to know somebody if you're constantly looking at your phone, and why be there?
Because basically, because that's what they like, you're present, but you're not, because you're wondering what's going on. Even though your phone is turned down and it's right in front, you're wondering, hey, what's going on social media, things of that nature. So yeah,
It makes you both like hyper aware that there's a phone on the table.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So what are the biggest obstacles you have to face building your brand or helping a client build their brand?
I think it's just one is I tried to do it all myself in the beginning, because as someone is like, okay, I'm an expert in this thing, you're gonna do it better than your team members, especially in the beginning, unless you hire another expert, and those can be costly in the beginning. So I in the beginning was like doing everything myself, which is crazy when I think about it, because I should have had like at least a couple of helpers. I did not. I was doing everything. I was manually. All of the platforms, I was making sure everything was done correctly, and I was doing multiple things for multiple clients. And then I didn't end up hiring team members until probably a year in, which I could have had so much life back and scaled so much quicker had I realized that my burnout and me feeling like everything had to be perfect was contributing to my inability to like scale,
Was it because you were building your brand and you want your brand to do well? Is that why you was taking everything on by yourself?
Well, it was the client. So like with Cody, it was like I was, if I had to manually edit things, like I was doing it myself instead of like trying to offboard it to another editor, which we had editors, but there was a lot of things I was doing that I shouldn't have been doing. I should have looked over, like now, for example, now I still oversee another team. This is separate from my agency. My agency, this team runs. I'm over another team with another person because I have skin in the game in this business. I helped it grow. It's
Not to cut you off, how many on the agency that's your brand, how many you have working for you?
Well, I have two shooters. Okay. And then we have 2 assistants and then they overlap hours. Okay. And then I have like 2 video editors. It's like 2, 2, and 2 because I think everybody needs a backup. Okay. I'm actually getting ready to hire a project manager. So I just put up an ad for that. And then that person's going to help oversee the team like a mini me, Okay. So it's still a small but mighty team. But now I'm in that growing phase where I need to hire another person. And you get those signals when you're like, I'm stepping in too often, fixing mistakes. I need somebody who now to do that. So that's with Brand Social Agency. Okay. We run business accounts only. We don't do personal brands. And then I'm over another team called Men of Action. A client of mine, Michael Sertain, which will feel very left field if you look him up. A lot of people think he's a dating coach. He's not, but it looks like that. But I've been with that group for 4 years, and I've helped scale their organic content, which organic is anything not paid, no ads or anything. It's just like from social, whether we're doing like driving people to lead magnets or to book a call. They had $0 coming in organic when they brought me on, I think 4 years ago. They had it all coming in on the ad side. So mind you, this is already a 7-figure business on the ad side, but I helped them build a 7-figure business on organic. So it's like 6 figures monthly with organic content. So because of that, I still make sure I move the parts to make sure everybody's doing things to scale. And being a part of that team sharpens me. It's like being in a mastermind of, they're all men, and I'm the only girl, but I learn so much. They sharpen me and I sharpen them, and I bring stuff that I learn over to Brand Social Agency and apply it. But he's the only personal brand that I'm heavily involved in.
So how do you pick people to work with?
So I don't manage personal brands anymore. Okay. We don't, because it's hard to replicate a system with a team when it comes to personal brands. Okay. It's like too personal. It's like, now you're getting, you're like kind of dealing with emotions more, personal goals and things tied to also business separate and together. So I stopped managing and only consult and give launch plans to personal brands. So if you said, Char, I need help launching my personal brand, specifically on IG, but it models over, then I give an action plan, and that's where it comes in, and I'll go in and I'll look at, what is it you need? Let's get you a content strategy in place so that way you feel very clear on what to do for at least the next 6 months to a year. Some people will do monthly calls with me, and then we'll look at your content. We'll give you a game plan so you know exactly what you need to do to grow your personal brand. So I still do that. Very straightforward. And then for management, it's businesses only. We'll do business focused personal brands. So if you were like a lawyer or doctor, somebody that was only posting about their practice per se, then that we'll look at individually. If they tell me I'm launching a course, a mastermind, I'm a personal brand, I have lifestyle mixed in, it's like a no for us because I can't replicate that to my team, and I had to do something that I could teach someone else. And it was like, I don't know how to teach knowing humans and like interacting with them, which is a part of that personal brand process. It's so personal.
How have the social media industry changed since you first started, and what have you adapted to your brand?
The biggest one's going to be AI, I would say. A couple of things. One is personal brands became a thing that they felt that people have pushed out that everybody needs is one. And I think it is helpful if you're able to have one. But I also think you can, like I said, you can create a boundary where maybe you're a personal brand with your business and you only cover the business. So maybe you won't scale as much as the personal, person with the YouTube covering their life and their day to day and all those things that people get like locked in on sometimes.
Is that considered vlogging?
It is, but it's like lifestyle vlog mixed in when they do like their personal life. And I don't even know it's kind of different. Like it depends on if somebody's like covering, like that, let's say someone said, I'm taking a journey across the United States in my minivan and I'm going to bring you along with me. Well, that person has to share all of the aspects of their personal life because that's what it's about. It's about their journey traveling across the country and they're sharing their day to day. But somebody else might say, well, I just want to be known as an expert. It's a different type. It's expert driven. And, known as the number one doctor. And I want to teach other people like on how to grow their practices or whatever. That would be a different type of personal brand than the person. They don't have to share their day-to-day personal life. They don't have to bring a camera in behind the scenes and show their family. They don't have to do these things. So I would say how personal brands have scaled like in the last several years, and there's different types now. And there's a lot of experts that want to be personal brands, and that didn't used to be a thing anymore. And so one thing that we've accommodated that's away from personal brands with businesses is the use of AI. But I use humans still in everything, meaning like we do not just, there's this like idea that you can go online and like create a month's worth of content with AI. Yes, and if you do that, most of you are going to fail growing your business or your brand by doing that. It's the people that sell you on it are often selling you a course or something and telling you it's that easy.
So let's touch on AI. So where I work and what I do, they use AI to schedule my day.
Okay.
So they will use AI and say, hey, I'm supposed to be here at this certain time and this how long I'm supposed to be there. And it doesn't work. It does not work.
There's a lot of bugs.
Yeah, especially when I'm the one actually in the field doing these things and testing. You're trying to use me as a test dummy. These time slot doesn't work for everyone. And, there's hiccups here and there, and then so everyone is really freaking out on this AI. Like a company that I work for that they bought, they are going to try to do away with their drivers and let AI and the drivers drive the bus,
that scares me.
Drive it, but also have I guess they were going to pay their merchants more to unload the truck. But this AI is getting out of control.
I have a love-hate relationship with AI. I think, and I've said this before, I think it was sort of like Pandora's box that in a way we'll regret it in the next 10 years to a degree. Sometimes I think that just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I'm not a fan of just replacing everybody with the robot just because you can, because I think that there's always that like trickle down effect and you don't see it until it's like a little too late. And then you've made a lot of mistakes along the way. And so there is a huge influx of companies that fired a lot of people and replaced them with AI, but then they had to bring the people back because the AI didn't work like they thought it was going to. I love AI for certain things when it comes to research or just kind of optimizing whatever, like an SOP in your business, and it can streamline things. It can hunt for things quicker than you and gather and organize. Love it for that. But when it comes to replacing humans behind the wheel, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. That's kind of scary to me. Or just replacing everybody, again, thinking that that's going to save a few dollars, but then it's like, I don't know. For me, I have a problem with it morally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm living it. Like I said before, they're using us as test dummies.
I don't like that.
They're using us. So, what are the biggest mistakes you see businesses make on social media today?
Hiring their marketing people to do their social media and not understanding that it's a completely different, it's like telling your person who speaks Spanish to speak Italian. I think people are starting to understand now that it's like a different role. I've noticed that too, because I'll get like job alerts just because I like to see what's happening out there, what people are hiring for and what the pay is like. I'm curious. I've noticed a rise in social media manager strategy, like content strategists. And I'll get a business and they'll say, well, we have somebody in marketing, our marketing girl. Well, their marketing girl excels at sending emails, often graphic design, doing the flyers. She might know how to run some basic or Google ads and such. But in general, like they don't usually know how to run social media. So they bring that knowledge over, and it's kind of like a dinosaur knowledge of what social media, because it used to be, is very different than what it is today. And they don't understand that, like the strategy's changed. Yes. Like you can't just post on LinkedIn and post that on Instagram and expect it to perform well. So yeah, I think that there's like sort of this awakening that there's a difference between these different roles now, and before people tried to have one person do it all, and that's a mistake. So
do you ever get frustrated when companies do that?
I don't get frustrated. I'm the person that they call when they realize their marketing person can't do it. And so, but what's funny is some of my favorite, like I say favorite, but some of my best clients, like I love my clients, or I don't take them on. To be transparent, I won't take on a client I hate. There's not anybody I'm like hating and working with, I had somebody tell me, like, they always say, I hate social media. And I go, I know. And then they're like, I hate it, but I know we need it. I'm like, I know. And then they end up loving it with us because we make it fun. And we have like some blue collar businesses under our belt too. We love working with them just as much as our like luxury clients. And it's just, they have such a good time. And we do too, filming them, that it's changed their mind about like social media, and they get the response and the feedback because their social media is performing well. And I wouldn't keep a client on if we weren't performing well, period.
So do you help run their social media ads?
We don't do ads. We only do organic, which is basically any post that doesn't have a dollar behind it. Okay. So, because ads is another beast too. Like people only do ads, and then we only do organic. So anything that isn't an ad, the reels, the carousels, the posts, the stories, anything that we can push out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok without having to spend an extra dollar on it. Okay. That's what we do.
So what advice would you give someone who's looking to build a brand on social media, or just a brand, period?
I think first you need to have a vision of what you want. Like start looking at other brands that resonate with you. Because if you don't have any vision of what you want, it's going to be hard to find somebody to implement a plan. And so when we do like an onboarding call or even a consulting call, some of the questions that I'll ask them is like, can you tell me examples of somebody that you like love online? Like give me examples of some of the content you love that resonates with you, some other brands, so that we can look at it. And as long as there's like some examples out there, it's pretty easy for us to usually build a plan from that, along with their personal goals, because there's a mix there. If it's the only one that I say, like, if it's heavily B2B, you may not need an Instagram. You might be a LinkedIn person. And so if you were doing NASA type tech and it's not consumer driven, then you would do better on LinkedIn with the owners who are kind of hanging out there,
So you said LinkedIn. What is LinkedIn?
LinkedIn. Sorry.
What is LinkedIn?
Oh, you've never seen LinkedIn? It's just another platform primarily for business people. I feel like it's the place that people put on a suit as a social media platform, and then their business owners are there, and they're very buttoned up, It's not really about creativity. It's about sharing, like the old school way of Facebook longer posts. Really into engaging, not entertaining people there. They're really big on engaging as a business. Okay. So I think any business should definitely also have a LinkedIn, just as a foundational piece to represent with other business owners, whereas the other social platforms are highly entertaining. They're mostly for entertainment.
So y'all watch as a Rich Girl Roundtable.
Yeah.
Shout out to you and your partner.
Yeah.
There are some topics on there that are really resonate with me, and I would like to talk about.
Go for it. Yeah.
Let's talk about prenups.
Oh my gosh. So I'm not married, transparent. Like, I'm not married, but if
Neither am I.
did get married,
Okay.
we both know that we would sign a prenup. And it was just like a no-brainer, but we have that kind of autonomy already, like going into, we have, our own thing going, and we come together. We do something separately and together. So it was never like it never felt like a feeling for us to bring up those kinds of conversations. It's like, oh, of course.
So it's a touchy situation because, like you said, you and your partner have your own things, but they looking at it like, why do I need to sign a prenup if you really love me? Why is there a pushback on that?
I feel like, honestly, I wonder if it's people that don't own a business that feel that way. I think there's a couple of reasons. One is like, if you own a business, chances are you've had a discussion with somebody about ownership, about what you do as your role and what somebody else has done. And there wasn't, hopefully, too much emotion there. It was like, okay, or especially if you've ever had a business partner. So to some people, like, it's like it's not that your relationship is a business deal, but it's that bringing in businesses or stuff together is a business deal. And so you handle it the same way you would protect your business, you protect that. I think the issue is two things. One is people assume that means a prenup means that the one's going to walk away with everything and the other one's going to walk away with nothing. So people need to get rid of that assumption because that's not how they're all set up. Right. Two is that it means if you both build together during that phase, that the one who has their name on the business is also the only one that's going to get anything. And if you built anything or supported that man or woman during the time they were building, that again means that they walk away and you have nothing. It's like you can go in where one has a business and one doesn't and say, okay, if we are married, whatever I contribute to, we should divide for those years together.
Correct.
Those building years, not what we brought in on either side coming in, but what we built together.
Building moving forward,
Yeah.
right? So you're saying, for example, if I came in with a business that's making, let's say, $10 million a year, right? But moving forward, like it's already there, but if you're helping me moving forward, then you should be able to get a portion of that if we decided to go our separate ways in divorce, right?
Yeah, I think
Versus what I
so.
already have.
I think it's an important conversation. Like, I think that if a man is, and I'm just going to give a man and woman scenario. Okay. If a man is with a woman and he says, look, I don't want you to work. I really want you to focus on the children. Like, let's have kids. Which I again, like women out there, like that's needed. And I think that should be respected as a major role in a relationship. Then as the mother of the children during those years, you don't get the 10 million necessarily that I walked in with. Correct. But then let's look at what I was able to scale with you as my, wife or partner during those years, because I'm saying you're valuable as the mother of my children. I want to make sure, you're taken care of and that I wouldn't just take it all and, walk away. Or especially if somebody says, please, you don't work again, like this person who was working walks away from something, then they want to know too that they're protected because now they have those years that they didn't work and it's going to be hard for them to get back into the work environment. So I think it's like individual, and I think it just is like honoring the relationship and that both parties get something. Maybe it's not 50-50, but like that they both are taken care of if they split.
So for example, if I was to have a successful career and I end up getting married, so should I put aside money if I want my wife to stay home and take care of the family, just money, strictly for her, or should it be a shared account?
This is just like shooting the shit. Like, I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything, but just as like a friend saying stuff. I would suggest that you guys talk about like almost like, I hate to say the word allowance, but that she gets a part of the income coming in just to have some spending money. Correct. So that she feels like she's an owner of something too. And then that you both are happy with that. That makes sense, Assuming this is a healthy relationship. And then this is also assuming this is a healthy relationship and not somebody trying to take you for what you're worth.
Yes. Yes.
Setting the precedence ahead. But I mean, I think it would be helpful to have an account that you did grow together and going forward. And you would put some money in there too because you're invested in this relationship. But then you just say, like, I just need to create a boundary because maybe you have a board of directors on this side or other people to take care of and employees and things. It's just a conversation that needs to happen about the expectation because otherwise you've got one person afraid that the other one's going to leave and then the other one afraid that the other one's going to take them for what they're worth. And it's kind of not building trust ahead to me.
So do you feel like that conversation needs to be had about the money? Because if you was to have that conversation with your spouse about money, but then in their back of their mind, they're like, oh, well, this guy he or she thinks I'm a gold digger. Well, some people will get offensive. Like, oh, do you think I just want you for your money now? So how do you think having that conversation is important?
I think it's just the way. I think if you're in a healthy relationship, you should be able to have uncomfortable conversations. To me, it shows that, like, I feel like if you both trust each other, like, to me, it's a red flag if the other person automatically thinks that this conversation means I'm breaking our trust and that I would do something like that to you. Because, like, going in when things are rosy, before all the, you know what I mean, then things can get tough in a marriage or whatnot. I'm not married, but, like, I think it's important to have those conversations so you know how you would navigate things. Because if you can't have those hard conversations before you're going to marry this person, what makes you think it's going to be easier later, you know? And this is just one example of a tough conversation, but there's obviously going to be more.
And what I would say about, I think social media has a lot to play in that.
I know. I mean,
media has a lot
with relationships in general.
And you feel I feel like these people who are so-called relationship coach, life coach, they just woke up one day and made themselves a life coach. Like, where do you go to get this certification to be a life coach or a relationship therapist? So, because they're giving out these advices that are ruining relationships.
Ruin good ones. I think too. So people will binge on these because they've had a bad experience a lot of times. And that's feeding an audience who's going, yes, amen, that's happened to me. This is terrible. And it kind of feeds into the hate of a situation that made them really upset. Maybe they got cheated on. Maybe they did go through a situation where they lost money. And it perpetuates that fear even further. So social media definitely takes a play, but it's like again, when you're choosing a partner, you want one that isn't feeding themselves that type of content on a daily basis, because you also don't want to be the punching bag for the negative content that they've, like, taken to heart, you know?
Yeah, like I said, I limit myself on social media because it's consuming people now. It's like, first is going to someone in a good, healthy relationship. They're running social media to one of these, let's say, ratchet women. Now, if he cheat, girl, you automatically should go. And it's just nowadays hard to have a real relationship nowadays. Why is that?
Well, there's so much it's like bad information. And then two is, you know, we're humans and we're going to compare ourselves to other people. So, like, if you grew up without social media as a foundation to begin with, the negative information you got was from your friend next door. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Sally did X, Y, and Z, and that was like your news. You weren't overloaded with a lot of bad information. Negative information, bad experiences that people are having. And so, and I'm not saying these experiences exist, they do, but do you need to hear about all of them all day long? So, like, I think in order to be a healthy partner, or to have a healthy partner, you have to be a healthy partner. And you have to think about, like, okay, but, you know, do I have people around me that have healthy relationships? Maybe I should be looking at those and not just if I don't, then maybe I need to find better circle of friends if everyone around me is having bad experiences all the time. So it kind of, like I said, it kind of comes into, like, is this person emotionally healthy? What are they feeding their mental, you know, well-being? Is it bad? Kind of ask your questions ahead of time before you even date them.
So with you being an entrepreneur, what advice would you give someone who's trying to be where you're at?
I mean, it's a funny thing because I don't know if you feel this way, but you never feel like you're where you want to be in a general sense. So you're like me, like I don't feel successful because there's so many successful people around me, and I'll always kind of feel that way probably because the people that are around me are so successful, right? So, but then I'm like, okay, look at how far I've come.
Correct.
And so one is the small wins. Really celebrate those when you start taking steps towards a life that you want. Because if there's one thing about my life, I love my life in its current state right now. Okay. Now I need to I'm hiring people. That means I need help because this last 2 weeks, I'm not going to base it on, has been crazy with work. But
is that a good thing?
It's good. It's like growing pains.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this, like, reach a part where you are trying new things. If you have to get better people around you, start circling yourself with people who also believe in you, that lift you up. Then you will be in a healthier state of mind to kind of take those leaps. And I think it's important too. Like, I had a full-time job. I'd taken a job. I hadn't had a job in years. I took a job to stabilize because I used to work a lot of trade shows and events, but I couldn't get stable to really focus on my business to build it. So I took a job I hated. And I worked at a pool, would never do that again, but it was years ago. I worked at a pool to stabilize in a summer, and I did it so I could work on my business from like 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. before I went to my pool job. Okay. So I think it's important too that sometimes you tough it out and you stay in a job that you don't like to reach out for the thing that you do want. And there is that growing phase of like, sometimes you work a lot. You're exploring a lot. Sometimes you have to clean up the people around you, the things that you're listening to. Sometimes you have to clean up your relationships, your own mind to feel like you're ready to take a step forward. So that's what I would say, because that for me was everything. My circle around me changed my life. Me being willing to work a job while I was building my business helped me stay from being broke, you know?
Yeah.
And then making sure that I chose better when it came to dating, like that was the thing too.
What is next for you? Are there any project you're excited about?
Yeah, I am. One is, like I said, I'm scaling the agency a bit because I know it's like hiring another you to help run it. Okay. And so that's one thing that I'm working on. Two is just I've saved up quite a bit of money for like investing in something, and I really want to do like another business, maybe buy a business or something. Okay. And I highly recommend, like, I learned that from Cody. She does all the boring businesses. She teaches people like how to buy and acquire, because you don't have to be rich to do that. And there's so much opportunity for that. Like, it's like the window washer you don't think about, like the person, you know what I mean? The lawn care, some mobile dog cleaners, things like this, pool cleaners. There's so many businesses that you could be doing on the side and later and have an operator and make money. And I'm thinking about that now as I put the agency in place, so that way that train can run without me fully in it every day.
Yeah, I am looking into buying a box truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to buy a box truck. I want to own two. Maybe leave them, pass them down to my boys.
Yeah.
My two sons. Yeah.
Do you want to build something with it, or do you just want to, like, is it going to be for delivery?
Correct. Logistics. Or even getting a government contract. And
so smart.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on at this moment, is looking to buying a box truck, one for now, and we're doing it full time.
That's smart. I mean, and the thing is, like, there's so many jobs like that, and it's like, well, there's still a lot of opportunity where AI isn't going to just take it right away. Correct. And like, that's one. And so those are the things I'm exploring. Right now too.
If you could have dinner with any entrepreneur or creator, who would it be and why?
I have to say Tony Robbins.
Okay.
I know a lot of people say his name and that seems so cliche, but I have to give credit where credit is due, because I just he was so ahead of the curve as a teenager. There wasn't such a thing as a personal brand. There wasn't such a thing as he hates the term motivational speaker, but a life strategist. We would like, what? And I just think it just shows like how powerful one human could be. So that I would have to go back to that one, because I think that he got me out of a dark place in my life.
And so I can find him on social media?
So Tony Robbins?
Yeah, Tony Robbins.
Oh my gosh, if you haven't listened to him, look him up.
He's
the OG.
I'm going to have to now.
Oh my goodness.
Looking back at your journey, what would you tell your younger self?
Take the leap sooner.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I beat myself up for that. And I see a lot of people do this. So like, I should have done this sooner. I should have, X, Y, and Z sooner. I knew when I was 18 that I was ready to move, and I had stalled and stayed in a relationship that I didn't want to be in an additional several years. And then moved on to another relationship, again, stalled on moving. The only thing I would have done is moved sooner so I could have been ahead. However, I don't it's not like a full regret because maybe I wouldn't know the people that are in my life today if I had moved sooner. And to me, they're everything to me. So
Life teaches a lesson, right?
so true.
What legacy do you hope to leave behind through your work?
I think it's for me, because I help launch personal brands. It's not like sometimes people think about a personal brand as like to be seen. And I really think about what that person is doing to help others. And so that would be I know, for example, we'll just use Cody for an example, but she's helped millions of people buy businesses. Just being a part of another personal brand and helping them grow to help others is huge. It was my work, I believe, in this earth. It's that's what I do.
Well, that's all I have for you today. I would like to say thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for inviting me. This is awesome.
So before we go, where can they find you if they would like to work with you or partner or just chat with you about your brand?
brandsocialagency.com.
Okay.
The contact form is easy and painless to fill out there if you want to see if there, maybe we can manage your business or help you with your personal brand. And or you can my socials, Char Modelle, CharModelle, and Brand Social Agency.
Okay. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks. This is a great conversation. I appreciate that.
I did too. Well, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.